Alex, I know you and I have talked a lot about sort of like this noise in the market, and as leaders, how do we cut through that noise? So I'm wondering, just based on all of your conversations with leaders, CX and otherwise, like how do leaders stay focused on their goals, and how do they kind of get away from just like, this is just one other thing I have to think about, and the millions of other things I think about every day. Like, how do we cut through that noise?
You're absolutely right, Brooke. And I'll go back to what Alice was saying earlier, or alluding to the necessity of getting something out of the data. And so it's not just how does a leader cut through the noise. Like that's what CEOs, founders, VPs, SVPs, directors, team leads. That's your job. I think the ICs, the people on the front lines, they generate data just by doing things. And I think there's as an industry, I think there's something to be said about the non-solicited. It's like sometimes when it's the same with de-alcoholic, whether it's non-alcoholic, is it missing something? Is it a worse product? Well, if you go to law, for example, there's the idea of the law on the books, and it has nothing compared to law in action. Like that's the actual law of the land. Economists will tell you that there's the stated preference, and then there's what a consumer actually does, the revealed preference. And if you ask an economist which one would they want data on, it's like, well, what did they actually buy? And so they serve sometimes different parts. And with a couple of colleagues at Harvard, we've been thinking of this fun paper we could do where we prove that the only thing from a survey you can actually reliably get is an answer to the question I'm filling in a survey. And I guess if we put that out there somewhere, someone would still leave that blank and they would submit it. So it's like, all right, here you go. You can't even trust that survey. So like, Jeff, I love what you're saying. Like it has to cut through the noise. I think there are three things. The CEO has to have a vision. The leader, the team leader, whoever it is, you need to know what you're doing. You can't manage what you're not measuring. And if you're measuring everything, well, good luck managing anything. So that's one big problem here. There's so much noise. And then how do you start cutting through that is, well, you start thinking of things as levers. Like I'm A/B testing something. Now, my team had a webinar today. How does this engagement within CallMiner, outside of it, with all of the participants here, what did this do? What was our intent? What was the objective? And can we see some data connect to what we did? And CX, these are, again, much of this is revealed. It comes from just those engagements and how you change a script, how much friction there was, what was the wait time, all of this thing. Again, AI is just a tremendous tool for cutting through all the noise and making sense of the data. And the third is humility. So just being out there and asking that question 1,000 times. You have one answer, it doesn't mean you answered it. Consumers change, their trends change, the segment you're targeting changes all the time. And so if you're not humble enough to have a loop around these topics, you're absolutely missing out. You might get the signal once, but the station changed. And so those are the 3 points I'd say.